Hello, it's Scott Manley here with Star Citizen 2.2. This is 2.2 Alpha, let's be clear, still full of bugs, and full of spaceships. Now this is a model of a Xi'an spaceship. This is the Car-2 Scout. The Xi'an are an alien race, and this model has been in a number of people's hangars for a while, but finally with the 2.2 release, you can see the full-size model. Now, it's not flyable yet, it is hangar ready, which means you can kind of get a look at it, walk around it, and admire it, and things like that. Yes, it is still slightly better than a picture, but I still want to fly this thing. Now, the Xi'an, as I understand it, are an alien race who are mysterious and strange and kind of closely allied with the humans. Some of the human spacecraft include Xi'an technology, and I say Xi'an, it's spelled with an X-I, apostrophe A-N. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. This is supposed to be very different from the human ships. At least if you read the blurb, what it says is, instead of one big engine, it has a whole bunch of maneuvering engines to make it fly through space. It's like a little star flipping around, and it's supposed to be super maneuverable and things like that. Which all sounds fantastic until you realise that all the spacecraft in the game currently fly almost entirely using the maneuvering thrusters. You'll notice those little stairs coming down, by the way, just kind of appear and they float in the air like an anti-gravity. So from the inside, yeah, it has a completely different aesthetic on the interior. On the exterior, yeah, that looks interesting. Now this whole thing kind of takes off. This is it laying on its back, as I understand it. Once it lifts off, those things fold out and it flies along, and there's guns and everything for shooting stuff. So it'll be a really interesting spacecraft, I think. And I have to say, I was, when the chance came to back and pledge for this, I pledged for this with my own money. It was one of the few things where I really went and put a bunch of cash out for it. And interestingly enough, there has been a bit of drama surrounding this, as it turned out that there is only one seat in the spacecraft. And the original designs, the original concept art, in fact the art that is currently on the page selling the ship right now, shows 2 seats. I'm not that bothered, but enough people were annoyed that the term chairgate became a buzzword for a little while. I think largely it comes down to Cloud Imperium being terrible at communicating on this particular subject. But, I'm sure I don't really care at this point. It's just funny. Anyway, 2.2's added a bunch of other random things, a lot of bug fixes. They went through something like 9 or 10 PTU releases, which is, pretty stunning if you happen to be paying for every gigabyte downloaded. This was actually made flyable in the 2.1 release, which I didn't really cover that much. I played around with it, but it didn't really cover it much. They significantly modified it. They added some new entrances and exits. There used to be a ramp at the front that you could walk up in front of the landing gear. That was ditched. Instead, you have this rear loading ramp, which, I'd never noticed how that hydraulic works there. Yeah, this is basically, your space transit van. It's a cargo ship. It's a smaller cargo ship. It's not like the multi-role free Constellation, and it's certainly not like the big box trucks in terms of the Hull D or the Starfarer or anything like that. So yeah, getting to the seat, and my field of view is a little busted. There we go. I think I commented on the past that the visibility on this thing is like flying the interior of a postbox. A British postbox, obviously not an American postbox, which has the kind of flappy arm. Now the British one, you just have a kind of mail slot and you can look out. Same is true with this, except that obviously this one has a lot of guns, but it is not nearly as robust as a British postbox, which frequently comes off better when rammed by trucks and things like that. Anyway, let's take this out for a little jaunt. Let me turn this around here. Nice that we have that little sunroof there so we can see out the top. There from the interior you can see that the game renders the heads-up display in-engine. And this is, of course, one of the very difficult things to do because there's such a huge difference in scale between this heads-up display that's being rendered right in front of you, these controls that are being rendered right in front of you, and then there's planets that are way off in the distance. This is something that's kind of hard to do, and it's been part of the reason why they've transitioned to 64-bit coordinate systems. Things like Z buffers just simply can't work if you're only using 32-bit precision and you're dealing with such depth inside the cockpit and all the way out to infinity. Anyway, let's take this in a little jaunt. I've no idea where I'm going. I didn't have any idea where I'm going. I thought I'd go to the security port Koresh. Why? Why not? I was hoping to find some NPCs to shoot, but unfortunately it seems that NPCs have not been turning up since I've been playing this. Regardless, I thought I'll pay a visit to the security port here. There's a bunch of landing pads that you can put down on, and a little station you can explore with all the guns that you could ever need. So it's quite common to find people out here shooting each other, especially now that there's a new system in place to supposedly prevent griefing. It basically puts bounties on people, and there's rewards for shooting them now. So there's definitely a good bad guy mechanic, and you can reset your bad guy status by hacking the terminal here. I'm not here for that just yet because I haven't, at least on this load, I haven't gotten any evil bad status, although I did accidentally get it on a previous mission, which unfortunately the video file was lost. I was very annoyed that I lost this really good recording where where somebody came at me in a saber, and then I ended up losing to him because I was in a 300i, and then later I caught him in this level and I shot him in the head and stole the spaceship, so it felt like justice delivered. Anyway, let's take a look at the security port here. We have the airlocks, which of course cycle correctly when you're going in. I'm just taking a look, waiting for this. This is my immersion. I'm being immersed in the game by waiting a really long time. Red lights, air blowing in, and pressure equalized. There, now we can get inside and take a look around. Let's see if the scheduler says anything here. So the scheduler's where the missions are, and yeah, if you have like a flag for killing people, there'll be a mission there to go in, telling you to go in and hack the Gibson, hack the terminal, improve your security status, improve your school grades. Oh yeah, and here is a gun. Yes, look, we have a nice little submachine gun. Excellent, that's the thing. Oh, okay, somebody's shooting. And they're probably going to kill my... Yeah, somebody's just hovering up there. They're going to kill my spaceship if I don't get out there. Let's see if I can run out. Come on! Faster, faster, faster! Oh, the airlock is going to take forever to cycle, and my spaceship's going to die. This is, of course, one of the problems with this, that when you land, your spacecraft are essentially vulnerable. And, yeah, now it's in pieces, spinning around there in a really strange kind of regimented pattern. Where is he gone? Is he around somewhere? I can't hear him. It's entirely possible that he came, found me, shot me, and now he's just going to disappear off to another place. I hear that's quite common, just to cycle around between the different stations, the different places you can land, and just kill people, kill people's spaceships so they become stranded. And, you feel some sort of small victory at killing their little spaceship. Because shooting a spaceship that's sitting around is so easy, right? It's so difficult, actually. You can feel special education. Oh, ow! Fell over there. Yep, I don't see him here. I do not think he is in the area. I'm gonna sweep the area and see if I can find him, because I was hoping that he would just land and I would steal his ship back, or I would even do even better, shoot him in the head and then steal his spaceship back. But I think he has just disappeared. He clearly does not want to fight someone that could fight back. He just wants to shoot those things on the ground. Anyway, so I spend some time exploring the station here. I find this little data pad on the top floor that tells me stuff. It tells me a journal entry. The journal entry is hidden away in this somewhere. Okay, so this is my Mobiglass. No, wait. Oh, no, push the wrong button. Push the wrong button. Click on this. And we go to journals. And we have, like, Welcome to Port Olisar, Crusader Industries, Yella Travel Advisory, and Filtration Problem. I'm afraid Korea has not been clear for habitation. I just got the estimate for the repair crew. It's not good. The whole air filter system is going to need to be replaced, and that's going to be a whole bunch of plot development I don't have the time to deal with. So yeah, without a spaceship, I just kind of decide to float around for a while and explore this in EVA mode. There's no way to fly anywhere else. There's no way to call down an extra spacecraft. I mean, you could probably invite another player over, but they would probably presume that it was a trap because, hey, you're inviting them to the station that serves up all the best guns. Of course it's a trap if you ask another player to come out with a shiny spaceship, right? Please come and rescue me. Right, yeah, nobody's going to do that. I thought, hey, look, this looks like a nice little place to explore, and then I got in close and realized, no, it's just some greebling that, you know, human-sized greebling. Also, very interesting graphical effect on these railings. Look there, these railings are distorting space-time. These railings are made of pure neutronium, able to bend space-time with their great mass. Anyway, I waited a while, another spacecraft flew by. I think that is a Vanguard, maybe, or a Sabre, I'm not sure. Those are two flyable spacecraft, but yeah, some guy came by, flew past, and then, well, came around for another pass, but decided not to land in this case. Again, may have just been looking for some easy targets to troll. Later still, somebody else turned up. Just long enough to get a look and then realise that they weren't going to stop by in their... Well, I guess that's a shiny constellation there. Just the standard constellation Andromeda, not any of the other variants which they are still selling at this point. But finally, after about 15 minutes, my stealth and patience paid off. And a team turns up in a Vanguard, very carefully getting themselves put in position to land. So I start sneaking up on them. This is my first actual close-up encounter with a Vanguard. It's not in any of the ships that I have. I don't own these ships, and on top of that, the press pack doesn't include this, so I've not seen one of these, even though it's been in the game for a while. I don't know where the exit is. So I was kind of just hanging around above the spacecraft, floating there, hoping that they didn't look up, listening out for what they're doing, whether they're opening doors or whatever. But yeah, the Vanguard is a long-range fighter. It's supposed to be, you know, have a large crew. It has a turret and things like that on it. But eventually the humans inside pop the hatch, and there they go. So what do? I sneak after them with a gun and start shooting at them. Haha! And that freaks them out enough that they start running inside, because they know that I have an assault rifle and they have nothing. So of course they run inside to the airlock, and that gives me a perfect chance to take a joyride in a Vanguard. So there we go. Run around the back and up the little hatch. Quick! Open the door! Open the door! B deck. Wait, B deck? Is there an A deck on the Vanguard? I mean, is that different? I don't know. Let's get in there. Open the door. Get in, get in, get in, get in. Yeah, the chair slides back and everything. That is so styling. And I don't see them coming out, so it looks like there's going to be two people stranded at the Korea security post. I suspect there will likely be a murder-suicide in the near future, since most players don't have the patience to hang around waiting for someone else to land and get their spaceship stolen. So yeah, the Vanguard is a pretty high-end spacecraft. It's for a crew of 2 or 3, I think. There's a turret, and I believe that there's a shield station in there. It is from Aegis, which explains its angular design. It's supposed to be jump capable. It's supposed to be very long range. It's supposed to carry lots of guns, and I believe that since it's a long endurance spacecraft, it also has the all-important toilet. So I took this on a joyride around looking for some NPCs to shoot and totally failed to find any. So my standards dropped and eventually I thought, well, I'll just kill the next person I find. Because, you know, if the game's not giving me NPCs, I have to use these guns on something. And it's important, you know, the guns need to be exercised. If you don't use the guns will atrophy and wane. So, yeah, find this target here. Possibly getting ready to take this mission item. Not really clear, maybe they're stuck looking at their mobi-glass. But certainly doesn't provide any resistance and explodes into a bunch of pieces here. That was the Anvil Hornet. I think that might have been the Super Hornet actually. It's very hard to tell after it's been knocked into pieces. Now, mostly the ships that have been turned into flyable spacecraft have been the warships, and the reason is there's a great focus on getting Squadron 42 out. They have now split the packs into two, so that you buy Star Citizen, or you buy Squadron 42, and then for $15 more, bringing your cost up to 60, you can get the Star Citizen Persistent Universe. I'm just going to show you, this is the shield console inside the ship. If you want to fly around, if you want to be the shield officer, you can do that. You can try and adjust energy to shields and things like that. It's a shame that whoever is at that position doesn't actually get a seat. Oh, I left the back door open. I thought it was a little drafty in here. I do have some trouble getting out the back here, unfortunately. I'm not sure this is designed... I'm not sure how well anyone tested this. Getting out the ramp on the back of the Aegis Vanguard, not that easy. Open the door again, try to get down, and I bounce up, down, bounce, come on. I'm just trying to do this very carefully. Nope, keeps jumping out. And then I finally clip out at last. There we go. The Aegis Vanguard Warden. There are, of course, variants on the Vanguard as well, if you are into that kind of thing. That kind of thing being, of course, spending money to support the game, etc., etc. So yeah, yes, I find the source of the rogue signal, get to hear a little message.
Know that my journey has ended. It was finding my way here that made the path worth taking. I am glad that I can be part of your story too. Share it well. Safe travels.
That's rather magnanimous of him. Glad that I could die to be in your story. Yeah, so flying back to the Vanguard, to the ship that I borrowed, does prove to be kinda hard. In fact, it proves to be impossible because I borrowed the ship from another player. It eventually evaporates. And while I'm not going to evaporate, I am going to leave. So I'll see you again sometime. Until then, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.